Hello everyone. Today video topic: the greatest conqueror in history, the story of Alexander the Great. The story of the greatest conqueror in history begins with a moment so small, yet so powerful, that it changed the fate of the world forever. He was only 12 years old. One day in the royal court of Macedonia, a terrifying horse was brought before the king. The animal was wild, uncontrollable, and filled with rage. It kicked, screamed, and refused to obey. Even the most skilled riders of the kingdom failed to mount it. No one dared to go near the beast. The king watched in silence as his finest horsemen gave up, one by one. Then something unexpected happened. The king's 12-year-old son stepped forward. The boy carefully observed the horse. His sharp eyes noticed something no one else had seen. The horse was not angry, it was afraid, terrified of its own shadow. Without fear, the boy gently turned the horse's face toward the sun so it could no longer see its shadow. He softly patted its neck, spoke to it calmly, and within moments leaped onto its back. The wild horse instantly became calm. The entire court fell silent. The king stood frozen in disbelief. Then he spoke words that would echo through history. "My son, this small kingdom is too little for you. One day you will conquer the entire world." That boy was Alexander, later known to history as Alexander the Great. A mind forged for greatness. This is the story of how intelligence, courage, vision, and discipline turned a young prince into the most powerful ruler the world had ever seen. At the age of 13, Alexander's father entrusted his education to the greatest philosopher of the ancient world, Aristotle. But Aristotle did not merely teach him philosophy. For 3 years, from the ages of 13 to 16, Alexander studied logic, science, medicine, warfare, politics, leadership, and philosophy. Aristotle did more than educate him, he expanded his mind. One day, Aristotle said something that would ignite a fire inside Alexander's soul. "The world is nothing but a map, and you are the hand that can redraw it. You can change the lines of the earth if you turn your thoughts into weapons." These were not just words. They were a spark. Alexander looked toward the sky, not as a prince but as a future master of the world. From that moment on, his heart desired only one thing: conquest. Not just Macedonia, but Asia, Africa, and lands unknown to mankind. He did not want to rule only with the sword, but over ideas, philosophies, and the hearts of men. From prince to king. At the age of 20, Alexander's father, King Philip, was assassinated. Some historians believe it was a personal rivalry. Others claim Alexander's mother, Olympians, ordered the murder after Philip married another woman, threatening Alexander's claim to the throne. Whatever the truth may be, that night changed history. Alexander went to sleep as a prince and woke up as a king. But ruling was not easy. Enemies surrounded Macedonia. Greek cities mocked him, calling him a child king. Rebellions erupted, and conspiracies formed within his own court. Many believed his reign would be short. They were wrong. Alexander crushed internal conspiracies, stabilized Macedonia, and brought rebellious Greek states to their knees. When the city of Thebes revolted, Alexander destroyed it completely, sending a clear message to the world. Defiance would not be tolerated. The war against Persia. With Greece secured, Alexander turned his gaze eastward, toward the mighty Persian Empire, the greatest empire of its time. On his path, smaller kingdoms either surrendered or formed alliances, but the real challenge was King Darius of Persia. Darius commanded millions of soldiers, vast wealth, and an empire stretching across continents. Alexander had only around 40,000 disciplined troops and an unbreakable will. The first major battle took place at Issus. Alexander used brilliant cavalry maneuvers to break through Persian lines and strike at the heart of Darius's army. When Darius saw Alexander advancing toward him, fear overtook him. Darius fled the battlefield. His mother, wife, and daughters were captured. But Alexander shocked the world. He treated them with honor and respect. He told Darius's mother, "I will honor you not as the mother of an enemy, but as a queen." Even his enemies were stunned by his character. One son, one king. Darius later sent a message proposing peace, offering half the world in exchange for ending the war. Alexander refused. There cannot be two kings under one sun. The final decisive battle took place at Gorgamla. Once again, Persian numbers were overwhelming, but Alexander's strategy, discipline, and leadership decided the outcome. Darius fled for the second time. This time, his own generals betrayed and murdered him, hoping for Alexander's forgiveness. Instead, Alexander punished the traitors and gave Darius a royal burial. The Persian Empire was now his. Egypt and the dream of unity. Alexander's name echoed across the world. He marched into Egypt, where people welcomed him as a liberator. Egyptian priests declared him pharaoh, the sacred ruler of the land. But Alexander did not rule as a tyrant. At the mouth of the Nile, he founded the city of Alexandria, a dream of unity between East and West. He personally designed its layout, envisioning great libraries and monuments of knowledge. It was not just a city, it was a vision. To the edge of the world, Alexander continued eastward, reaching modern-day Pakistan and India. Here he faced unfamiliar lands, climates, and enemies. His greatest challenge was King Porus, a powerful ruler commanding massive war elephants. The battlefield shook beneath their weight. Alexander adapted quickly, isolating the elephants and attacking from the flanks. After a brutal battle, Porus was captured. Alexander asked him, "How should I treat you?" Porus replied, "As one king treats another." Alexander was deeply moved. He not only spared Porus but restored his kingdom and made him an ally. This was Alexander's true greatness, not just conquering lands but winning hearts. The long road home. By now, Alexander ruled the largest empire the world had ever seen, stretching from Greece to India. But his army was exhausted. When he wished to march further east toward the Ganges River, his soldiers refused for the first time. They longed for home. Alexander accepted their decision. On his return, he formed political marriages to unite cultures and strengthen his empire. It is said that nearly 1% of the world's population today carries Alexander's DNA. The end of a legend. In Babylon, at just 32 years of age, Alexander fell ill with a mysterious fever. The greatest conqueror in history died before returning to his homeland. In just 12 years, he achieved what others could not in centuries. He conquered half the known world, not just with the sword, but with intelligence, vision, and respect for humanity. And that is why the world still remembers him as Alexander the Great. Friends, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.